has gone out on the circuit, and so that suggests that Sauber are in the clear, and we're going to see them this weekend.
Well, that would be a first for that sort of thing, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think it is. I mean, I can't think of it. We saw Johnny Herbert come in to do something like this. If they fail, that is a long way to travel to have a driver here on a TV show. That's all it was. Well, you've got to get as much publicity as you can out of it. And literally, he was going home. Interesting to see one of the cars just now. That was Nicosalos going around, and it almost had a little bit of a bow wave of dust coming off the front tyres, which suggests, even though many cars have been out on the circuit since racing actually started, it still isn't.
It just is extraordinary, the amount of dust that they...
You want to call them pop groups and such, and it was a huge... massive, and beautifully done. All sorts of other spectacular things going on as well. Now there's the Stewart car on your screens now, the Stewart Ford, and it's going to take me a little while just to recognise. Schumacher in the
Ferrari. There he is. 8.023, and now we're looking at Gerhard Berger in the Bonneton Renault. Now, this is one of two cars that made an appearance. This is one we really do want to watch. You're riding on board now with Gerhard Berger.
And Gerhard, as Nigel points out, quite correctly, as always, Gerhard is the only driver to have started, who will start, presumably he will qualify, in every Australian Grand Prix.
Yes, Ralph Schumacher, youngest driver in the field in number 11, Jordan Peugeot. Is from Shinji Mikano, who's done 12 laps, so number 6 and the session under. I mean, when you think how we all drive a car and how different it is jumping from one car into another anyway. Pedal positions, all those sort of things, and it is, when you're being chucked around as well, you want to be in a position that is the most comfortable to you, obviously. Now Irvine's made more progress, another 2 places picked up for Eddie Irvine, so he's now up into 6th place in Ferrari number 6 for the lap in the mid-1.
Spectacular section of the circuit. Even on that very first lap, he was visibly quicker than anybody else. It was fascinating to think that the guy has just come straight onto the track and already is, well, certainly not at racing speed, but so much quicker than Ferraris, I understand, did something like 500,000 kilometres in upsurfing. At this point in time, in terms of reliability, whereas the Series 2 it's able to handle a 200-mile race at this point in time. So
He's out of the car. The car is now safely parked out of the way, and Damon Hill going somewhat better than his teammate.
we need to keep an eye on Villeneuve at the moment because, as Nigel just quite pointed out, the split time was looking very impressive. Now he's coming up behind one of the Tyrrells, I think, as he comes back onto the front straight. Now Villeneuve heading for Schumacher's time of a 1:33.1. Was his quickest lap so far, but not quite quick enough.
So it's Schumacher in the low 1-minute 33s, Villeneuve a couple of tenths slower, LAC in the mid 1-minute 30s. Nuances of a lap, where you can start to tell who's quicker in the first part and who's losing time in the second part. And it can be the character of the circuit that makes the difference.
Now, taking a close look at that car, driving that car, driving the Williams last year. Last year, the Williams was just so steady, going through the turns like it was on the rails. Whereas this year, it's completely different. There's a twitchy front end, a little bit more racing all the time, and Hill's correcting often, 2 or 3 times a lap.
Yes, he's obviously working a lot harder. It was quite visible that he was working much harder than some of the others. The other thing that sort of struck me is that on the exit from the golf club golf course corner, the different gear change points come.
However, the top of the list after the first session of practice for Formula 1 for the last
minutes and 1:34.43. That's the top six, and they've been like that for quite some time. And at this stage, we have just under 27 minutes of this session still to go. This 1 hour session. In terms of laps, at this stage, Salo has completed 20, 19 laps for Fisichella, and also for Reed, and 18 for Verstappen, and also for Michael Schumacher. So they still have 10 or a dozen, as it were.
Fisichella has his time in 10th place, just behind him. Schumacher to complete another lap because Schumacher
1:34.593. Ninth is Giancarlo Fisichella, is 1:34.777, and 10th fastest Mika Häkkinen, 1:34.796. As we see that replay again of Jan Magnussen. Back live.
7 3/4 minutes to go until the end of this session, and one or two of the drivers, I think, perhaps pulling out the stop. Berger had gone up to 8th place, I think he's now up to 7th in the second event on Renaults. We've had a spin from Jean Alesi in number 7. He was third quickest. He's going to be able to rejoin, and that's at Sports Centre corner. He rejoins. Schumacher.
Yes, he's missed the apex by a good metre and a half, I would suggest, and that's where the time was lost.
Yep.
And he would know immediately that he's thrown it away.
About his racing is that he's a race driver, and sometimes he will take strange entries into corners. He won't take the classic power on rails approach to it, just to see what happens. Because under racing conditions, you've got to use the whole track.
As we, because the action has virtually come to a close. 32.496 for Michael Schumacher number 5. 32.910. Third manufacturer out of 3, Jean Alesi in the Benetton Renault number 7, 1 minute 33.25. Was it a mistake? We don't know. Right at the end, Jacques Villeneuve 1:33.371 in the Williams Renault. 5th, Ralf Schumacher, superb for Ralf Schumacher in Grand Prix racing, driving the Jordan Peugeot number 11, 1 minute 33.427. And still within a second of big brother Michael. 6th, Eddie Irvine in Ferrari number 6, 1 minute 34.157. 7th, Gerhard Berger, the second of the Benetton Renaults number 8, 1 minute 34.271. 8th, David Coulthard, Mercedes number 10, 1 minute 34.432. 9th, Johnny Herbert in the Sauber Petronas number 16, 1 minute 34.593. And 10th, Mika Häkkinen in the second of the McLarens, 1 minute 34.742. 11th, Giancarlo Fisichella in the second of the Jordan Peugeots, number 12, 1 minute 34.777. 12th, Olivier Panis, who ended